Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on Service Virtualization 10.9. It's going to be presented jointly, both Asif Shlomi, the product manager, along with Meyer Tambor, the engineering excellence architect. Both will be presenting and sharing with you the new features that are a part of this 10.9 release. During the presentation, I am going to allow you guys to unmute yourself. So I'm going to make it so that during the presentation, should you have questions, you're able to unmute yourself and ask them during the presentation. Asif and Meyer have decided they want it to be interactive. Now, of course, if you choose and you want to put your questions in the panel instead, that's quite all right. We will still, save time at the end and look at any questions that we have at that point, either you want to ask directly or that are typed in the panel. So with that, I'm just going to turn it over to Asif, and thank you guys again for joining.
Okay, thank you very much, Pam. Just to confirm, can you see my screen, my main screen now?
I see it, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so hi everyone and welcome to the Service Virtualization 10.9 webinar. We are very excited with the new feature that we are going to show today. First of all, we start with the disclaimer. I'm sure that you had time to read it and we move on. So today we have an excited feature that we would like to share with you. The first and the major one is the elastic VC scaling, and I'll focus on it. And the rest are the V3 API for Kafka that we added. We have new look for the service catalog. We have also we included some post 10.8 feature that we added gradually. So if you already heard about it, it's okay. But we added the capability to enforce the naming for the virtual service. Some enhancement to the workstation UI that I'll show as well about the assets and viewing in a table, not just in a tree as before, and authentication, authorization enhancements, LDAP and SSO that we're going to share, and some enhancement to the logging, the way that the logs are presented that we have. But as I said, the main one and the marquee feature of this 10.9 release is the scaling of the virtual services, and we have auto scaling and scaling is done as we do. So the capability that we allow you is to handle the business needs that when I'm running performance tests, I'm not always know what is the capacity of my VCE. And if I need to upload a few VCEs, or I need to increase the capacity in terms of TPS, all of these, it's hard to manage, and I need maybe to bring a large scale machine, some if my performance tests are very big and I need to load. And then it starts to have a cost for it, time to reach up the machine for my IT to approve those machines or to scale up those machines. And this is what we're going to solve here. So when you run on Kubernetes, and I would like to emphasize, we're talking about Kubernetes deployment of SV, there are capabilities of auto scaling my VCEs. And when I'm talking about auto scaling, it means provisioning another instance of the same VCE that I'm running on. So we are using here two options to scale. The main one that we're focusing on is using CADA, and is by TPS, transaction per second. So all I need to know is what is the capacity of transaction per second of my VSE, and now I can start to run the test. While I'm running the test, the VC the transaction per second will start to pile up, and once I reach the capacity of my VSE, it will spins up another VC, and if I reach a capacity again, it will reach up another VCEs. So behind the scenes, I will have several pods of the same VCE. You see the name of the VCE is a virtual service environment, and then it starts to replica with the names. But when I open the portal, for example, I would see a single VCE. So in a sense, it's a single VCE that I will send all my requests to this single endpoint with a single URL, single port, and those requests will spread across behind the scenes the other VCEs, and it increased my capacity this is how can resolve it. The technology that we use behind the scenes is CADA, Kubernetes Event-Driven Autoscaling. So CADA allows us to use applicative metrics, like in our case is transaction per second, and based on it, it's increase the capacity and additional instances of the same VC that we have. So as a, let's say, admin, all I need to do in my configuration of the specific VC, I need to specify what is the maximum transaction that this VC can reach into it. How do I know this number? It's a tricky question. To know this number, it's, you never have like a one formula that tell you how to, what is the maximum TPS of your VC. We have some benchmarking in our documentation, but eventually you need to know your service, you need to know your environment, because it changes from environment to environment. The size of the VC that you have, the networking that you are running on, the size of the virtual service, the size of the payload that you are using. So eventually you have some kind of benchmark that you know that suit your application, and you need to figure out this number, and then CADA automatically and in Kubernetes will increase the number of pods behind the scenes, allowing you to get into potentially infinite number of TPS that you need. Important to say that scaling each performance VC that I'm increasing, it's also consumed as a performance VC for the license perspective. So this is also we need to understand. A second method of that we can use, we allowed, it's by CPU and memory. Here we're using the native HPA of Kubernetes. There is a caveat here. To know how to deal with the HPA, it's not easy as CADA. In CADA, we know we're saying to the CADA, this is the TPS that I need, and I'm using those type of TPS. Here, to tune the CPU and memory, it's not just one property like in the CADA. I need to be a bit more Kubernetes expert to know how to tune this memory and CPU in order to scale. But we do have these capabilities. If you are expert in Kubernetes and you wish to use this option and you find it more comfortable for you, it's supported, it's part of our solution, and you can do it and tune it. And now that the adding additional VC's instance would be based on when you max your memory or you max your CPU, and not transaction per second. The CADA come to give us a single metric that well known to the end users rather than the CPU and memory. Along this change, we also changed the reporting in the ED, in the dashboard, executive dashboard, that we can show the license usage, also applicable how many instances we're running, and so we can show you all of this. So this is very, very exciting, I think, news that we have here, or feature that we add. And now you have, we can say active VCs. You can call it like this as well. You can scale, by the way, not automatically. You can create multiple instances also by definition. So you can say that always I have 2 instances of these VCs, and then it will grow up if it needs, or maybe I don't want it to grow. I want to keep it as is all the time. Okay, so this is what we talked about, and this is the main feature that we're introducing in 10.9.1. So if we're speaking about Kubernetes, we thought it'd be a very good opportunity for us to show a bit how the Kubernetes upgrade happens, how Kubernetes framework or OpenShift gives us ease of use and ease of management of our product. So I hand over to Meir Tambur now that he will present for us and explain how upgrade is done in the Kubernetes and OpenShift environment. Meir, Let me change you to presenter and.
Okay, thanks, Asaf.
Sorry, I'll keep presenting the slides until you make your presenter. Sorry. Okay.
So you are presenting?
Yeah, go ahead. And
Okay. So thanks. So, as Asaf mentioned, there are a lot of benefits of using a containerized based solution like we are offering. Okay, we have the ease of deployments, especially the ease of upgrades. Only when we are doing upgrade, we just need to point to the new images. No requirement to change the existing settings that we have. All the settings are by default included in the Helm chart. So it's all located in a single location. So the Helm chart would include the specific settings that we have, database settings, image tags, logging information, and so on. One of the additional benefits is scale on demand that we can do with the Kubernetes environment. So in order to support this platform, okay, there are actually three elements that come into place. We have the blueprint, the default Helm chart. The default Helm chart, it has all the templates, all the pre-set definitions, like the database settings. As we said, you can specify the database location and so on. You are specifying the image tags. Okay, this is by the default in the default. So we have that in the blueprint. Where it comes to specific and let's say private information for specific customers, we have the custom values YAML file. In the custom values YAML file, okay, we are actually updating or let's say overriding the defaults. Okay, so we are specifying our own database settings. Okay, with our encrypted passwords. If we want to have specific logging information and so on. So this is the custom values file. And excuse me. And the third part of the that we need to handle is the container images. So whenever we want to actually deploy onto a Helm in our environment, we are pulling from the Broadcom our support site, we need to pull all the images, okay, all the relevant images, and to push them into our local, let's say, artifact management solution, whether it's going to be Azure or it could be GCP, it could be any other Docker repository which would be accessible to our information. So once we have those settings, we can actually perform the deployment. It's important also to mention that once we are doing the custom values, okay, we are copying, okay, we are cloning from the blueprint. We can remove whatever we want, so it can be very limited, very small configuration file with our environment, and we simply deploy via the Helm command we are deploying. Okay, next slide, Asaf, please. Okay, so the process, the flow of things, okay, that we have is we need to pull the images. In order to pull the images from Broadcom support site, we need to obtain an access token key. Okay, just a good opportunity to mention that there are some changes, and we will follow them in a few seconds. But you need to get the the access token key. Okay, once you get the access token key, you simply what you need to do is to collect the images. So you are pulling the images locally. Okay, you are pulling the latest Helm chart. Okay, you already have a previous version deployed. For example, it could be 10.8.4. Okay, that you have the specific Helm chart, the default Helm chart for. Okay, which you already configured. Okay, so you are pulling the 10.9 Helm chart. You can clone your existing 10.8.4 YAML file. Again, this is your custom value file with your specific information. And all you need to do, okay, in order to get ready for the upgrade is just replace the image tags, okay, in this YAML file. Okay, so you have the custom values file for 10.9 with single difference, okay, at the beginning, which would be your image tags for 10.9. Okay, then all you need to do is to perform the Helm upgrade command, and we are done. Okay, once you are satisfied, everything is working. Okay, you can add this new scaling capability as an example that Asaf mentioned. This is definitely a huge benefit that we can do. Again, leverage scale on demand. Okay, using Kubernetes or OpenShift. Okay, so we need to update our custom values with those specific settings that we need for the new capabilities, and upgrade again. Okay, and this is as simple as that. It's very simple process, as we said, to perform the upgrade. Okay. In the next slide, okay, we have the actual slight changes. Okay, for the obtaining the access key. Okay, up until recently on the Broadcom support site, you had to choose your specific product, link to your specific version. You had the Docker icon, and then you got some indication how to do it. We are now making it easy for customers. So assume that you have several Broadcom products. You can generate your specific registry token, okay, according, of course, to your entitlement. You would get this new token, and you will be able to download not just a specific product, but any product that you are entitled to. Okay, so that's on the obtaining the token. Okay, I think, Asaf, you can make me now the presenter, and I'll share. Okay, hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay, so just a quick view. Okay, this is the default Helm chart. Okay, so as I mentioned, okay, we have the specific service that we have. We have the database, for example, and the password and some licensing, trust or password, and so on. In our custom values file of 10.4, as an example, okay, we have specific, okay, connect string to my database. Okay, I define my logging level that I want. Okay, and the important part is my image tag. So when I'm preparing for the upgrade of 10.9, I pulled the latest images, cloned this this YAML file. In the 10.9, the only difference, okay, that I have is the image tag that we are doing. Okay, that's the only thing that we have. Okay, so we have here a 10.8.4 environment, okay, which is already deployed. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is simply perform the upgrade. Okay, so I have the command available, so I can simply trigger it. Okay, so I'm just doing the Helm upgrade. I'm pointing to my default Helm chart. Okay, the namespace where it is deployed. Okay, and to the new YAML file that I'm deploying. Okay, so this will take a few seconds. It will run and perform the upgrade. Okay, once the Helm command will complete, okay, what we'll be able to see in a second is the pods that are actually being terminated for the 10.8.4, okay, and it will prepare the 10.9 containers that will be available for us, and then we will be able to connect. Okay, if now we will do the kubectl get pods. Okay, we can see that, okay, for example, one of the containers is already starting with the new version. We will be able to see it. We are seeing it's terminating the older images, okay, and it will start in a few seconds. It will start to update all the new ones. Okay, so we will have it available, and I think we can probably get back to it. Okay, once Asaf will complete his demo. Okay, so we have here, okay, config server, for example, is already running. Is the new version. Okay, coordinator and other components will take a bit more time to complete. Okay, Asaf, I hand it over back to you.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. So let's continue with the features that we have in 10.9. So the first one is the Kafka service that we now happy to say that we are supporting also via the V3 APIs. And why it's so important? Because now you can provision the service from your CI/CD tool together with, so it can be on demand. I have a testing. I would like to provision the service. I can now provision the service from the CI/CD tool, and if I'm merge it with on the Kubernetes environment, I can even make the VSE to be provisioned on demand with the service on demand, and not having resources that are running on the background that I don't need. But this is very, very exciting. I would like to show a bit how I'm doing that on my system. So I'm now using as a client, I don't know if you're familiar with Bruno. It's kind of a Postman like a REST API. So I have my REST API that I would like to send. This is the REST API service that you may know in the top of the screen. So this is the call for it. I have the config, and the config itself contains the, let me put it, it's the JSON that I would like to specify everything that I have. So I have the Kafka, the name of the service that I would like to put. So let's call it 2026 Kafka demo. And then the transfer protocol that I'm using now, it's Kafka that we have. And there are the messaging configuration that I have here, where I'm putting the request and response channels that I'm using here in this specific service that is created, as the service was designed in the Kafka service designed in my VSM. So here I have the 3 channels that I'm having for the request and 3 channels that comes from the response that I have. Okay, so this information now I'm going to compress it and copy it over into the config fields of Bruno. Let's put it aside. And this is coming here. Now I need to put my INR pairs. So my INR pairs here also, I can upload the INR pairs files into my in this service. Just a second. INR pairs. So we have this is the zip file that contains all my INR pairs that I have in this server. And the latest one is the assets. How do I get the assets? So, and this is one of the advantages. Basically, I'm getting it from my service. So if I'm going to even in the portal to my config and even showing Explorer, we can say that all the assets are there. So under the configs, I have my project.asset. So I simply zip it all and doing it once and using it in all my services. So I'm now uploading my assets. It's a zip that contains all the assets that I created with the topic, with the name. So I'm doing it once and I can reuse it all over. So I have my asset here, and all I do now is running the REST API and to us to deploy the new service that came with us. Okay, I got an error here. It's classic for the services, but it's okay. I can show you other services that I created using this API in my service, and we can see it here in my portal. Hold on. Okay. So those are the Kafka services that I created using my REST API, and you see it's all running in my system. That now I can start to send messages to the Kafka and getting back to them. So this is the Kafka service. Next in line. Okay, service catalog. The UI has been changed and modernized, and we have better look and feel and better usage. I'm not going to go over it all together, but you're all welcome to enter to the new service catalog and new facelift that we have for this service catalog. Second is the naming convention, enforcement naming convention. This came from customers that would like to manage the virtual services and to understand how those services were created and who created it and how can I know to which group it belongs and when it's created. So naming convention is something very, very important. Although we have tagging and we have other means to mark my virtual service, but yet I would like you to create in some way to do it. So now we introduce the option to set the naming for the virtual service. So so what, as an admin, I'm going to the my properties, and I have now two new properties that I can set. One called Visa VS name format. I'm putting here regex to say that how they would like it to do. So my regex start with 202 because I want to enforce date here, and then which message that you want to give to the user if it hasn't matched the naming convention. With the best practice to provide some kind of example for the customer, for the user to know what this user to do. So when I'm creating a virtual service now, and I can show to create a virtual service either via a portal or via the workstation. So if I'm starting with the and creating a virtual service that doesn't match the name, I will get a error message that said to me doesn't match the name of the that I will define. And the same is would happen with the portal when I'm deploying the service and the name does not match to the name, the pattern that's specified in the regex, the user would get an error that will show on him. So this is the naming convention and how can I enforce it. Next is another usability enhancement that we added to the workstation. So in the workstation, I have my configuration and I have the assets that you may remember from the page. Now, in order to ease on management the asset, we also added as a table view. And once in the table view, I can, sort it based on the way that I want, either by name, by category, all of those familiar UI capabilities that you have. Now we have it also in table view and not just tree view. Okay, next is the SSO. So we extended the SSO capabilities now. So it applies also to the virtual service catalog. So if your company is using SSO as a standard, up until now, it was supported the portal, the ED, that you can log in with the SSO. Now the workstation and supporting the SSO as well. So when you are logging to the workstation using SSO, you would see that there is a new capability added, login with SSO. You just click on the login with SSO. Now it opens for you the IAM page for login with SSO, and I'm clicking on my SSO banner. And now this is my company login page. Okay, imagine it's your own company and you have a nice logo here of your company and you put your username and your corporate password. So this is totally not our area. This is your corporate login page. You log in with the page, and now after the login was done successfully, you get confirmation that authentication is complete, and you can go back to the workstation and continue to work in the workstation as before. So you're not using specific credentials, using your corporate credentials. This is increases security and also following corporate policies. So next, we enhance the Kafka with the OAuth2 authentication, and the Kafka protocol now supported. This came requirement from customers who and other users that need from us to support Bearer and OAuth2. OAuth2 becomes standard in many companies that require the OAuth2 integration with all third-party system. So we enhance the Kafka to support it. Another area of authentication and approval is the LDAP. If you are using LDAP and not SSO integration, so we enhance the synchronization with the groups of LDAP with the IAM, so changes are done, are also supported in the LDAP. And another and last in the area is the loggings. If before the logs were done in the list attempt that you know, and underneath there was logs, and under the logs we had all the logging. We came with better approach to say to ease on the system, on the searching and management the logs. So now the logs can be found under Lisa Home. And Lisa Home, it's a environment variable that shows you where the logs are found. Lisa Home, so here it's by default it's .devtest, like the user that installed .devtest, and then logs. And if I show the folders, that you see that each component, each server has its own folder with his with the log file of this specific folder that he has here. So this is, for example, all the virtual services that running on my system, running to one folder of the virtual services. Okay, so this is up to now what we have in 10.9, and now we're going to provide like a peek view of what we're going to release pretty soon in 10.9.1. It's just around the corner. That will include. So the main one is we enhancing the registry scalabilities to support hundreds of virtual services under single registry with hundreds of VCEs, sorry, with thousands of virtual services running in parallel, and you have a single registry. This will improve your TCO, total cost of ownership. You don't need to maintain several databases. This improves your operations, collaboration between the team. So we're really excited by this capability that would come around the corner. Other ones, same as we showed about Kafka, we're going to increase it for the IBM MQ. So we have IBM MQ in the V3 APIs, and to add it, like I showed in Kafka, very similar capabilities. Kafka MQ, after all, it's all a message queue type of virtual services. Then we're going to apply some modernization to the portal interface. Even, you know, capabilities that make it nice and easy to use. For example, button to deploy service from the portal when you edit a virtual service. Adding more spaces in the tables, keeping and reminding all the setting all the tables, all type of usability enhancement that we're going to add. The next is the testing with JUnit 5. By the way, this is already released. So if you are using the JUnit 5, the JUnit in your testing, so you can use the JUnit 5 now, and it's ready for you to download. We're going to introduce to the SSO also SAML, and if upload the file, we supported the OpenID, so SAML is added as well, and as well as mapping between the roles of your IDP roles, IDP groups to the SAML to the IAM roles. So all the authorization and authentication can manage by your IDP and not per user. Those are the things that we're going to add. Meir, I'm switching back to you. Meir, you are the presenter.
Yeah, my screen is visible, I hope. Okay, so we can see that the pods, okay, in my system are all running, all started recently. Okay, so upgrade had completed. If I go back to my portal, okay, where we saw, if you recall, the 10.8.4 version, okay, my session of course expired, so let me reconnect. Okay, so you will be able to see here in a second. Okay, here we are seeing the updated version, so it's updated. And if I log in into the system, we also see here that it has been updated. Okay, and the service, the components, okay, that I had deployed, the servers that I have deployed, okay, are all up and running. We can see that they have been recently started and they are accessible. Okay, so this is basically as easy as it is to deploy upgrade within a containerized based platform. Okay, that's it from my side. I'm switching back to Yosef.
Okay, thank you. So, we are reached to a Q&A session. If any of you have questions, feel free to ask.
Yes, and just as a reminder, you can take yourself off mute and ask directly, or feel free to type it in the panel as well.
Hey, can you guys hear me? This is Mukesh.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
hi.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So you mentioned V3 API supporting Kafka and now like 9.10.9.1 MQ, right? Only thing is like, okay, it will create the virtual service, but uh, in order to create assets, you have to go through workstation, right?
Correct, but you do it once, as I said. You don't need to, dig the only the asset that you need for this API. So you can create a zip file, and because those assets are text, so when you zip it, it's a very, very small zip, and you can create zip with many assets inside, and just use it, attach it. So you can have like a generic zip file that you can use over and over. You don't need to enter to the workstation every time, as I said. Do it once and you keep it over.
Got it. Yeah, until we have some cert upgrade or any assets getting upgrade. Yeah, I think still, yeah, this
Yeah.
is very helpful. Yep.
Okay.
And about the upgrade, right? Version upgrade.
Yep.
If it's a straightforward version change without any DB, so if let's say there is a requirement of upgrade to
There are DB
DB,
changes. Okay, I'm not saying there are no DB changes, but
uh,
the upgrade itself, okay, will
mhm.
take care of the all the DB, let's say the DB updates that are required.
Sorry, I had a hard time to understand. So if there is a DB upgrade required, there will be more steps involved, right?
No,
This
No,
sim
no, no, no.
no, 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 no,
When
no.
the
The same.
registry port, when the registry port starts, for example,
Uh-huh.
okay, with the upgraded version, it's all
Mm-hmm.
part of the startup. It will upgrade
Mm-hmm.
the DB. So if there are new columns or
Mm-hmm.
new tables, it will upgrade the DB and then continue. You don't need to take care of a DB upgrade. It's come
Oh,
with the
that's
okay.
yeah,
So
nice to know. Yeah,
it's
this is great.
exactly like because there are DB changes between 10.8.4 and 10.9.
Uh-huh.
And you saw what they done. It already changed the tag and started again, and those changes applied. So
Yep.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
super easy once you're doing it on a container-based environment.
Agree. Yeah. It's a lot of headache, right? When you want to upgrade one to another version with this
Yeah.
changes. Yeah, this is good. Seamless. Thank you.
Any more questions?
One more around the same, right?
Yeah.
So this is something you demonstrated about with on the Docker images, right? Like, but uh, the version is also available for let's say if you are using
On-premise.
on-prem also. Okay, VM, physical, any host, yeah.
Yeah, but in the on-prem you don't have the
Yeah.
auto scaling of the because it
Yeah,
uses
I agree.
Kubernetes environment.
No, I agree. Yeah, yeah.
No,
On-prem,
but
by
the
the way,
10,
if you're
10.9
talking
release,
about
10.9 release is available for both. Okay, on-prem and containerized offerings. But it's slight different processes and definitely different capabilities.
Capabilities. Yep. And the DAC will be available, right? And
sorry, what? Can
the
you repeat the question?
presentation DAC you are going to share.
Yeah,
Okay.
it will be shared. And the recording.
Yeah, recording as well. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? Pam, do we have any question on the panels or? I see there's
There does look like
access
there's
required to
one.
write.
Right. It says wanted to make sure no DBA access is required, correct?
DB access might be required, okay, if there are DB changes, okay, and there are DB changes between versions. So when you are actually deploying, right, you are providing the DB credentials. Okay, of course they are encrypted. Okay, and once we have those in the custom values file, okay, this is how the application connects to the database and can perform the changes. Okay, so DBA access is required to perform. If you want it to be automated and seamless and things, then it has to be. Hope it answered the question.
There are, by the way, the same method that May showed now, this is the same method of applying service specs. In service specs, most of the time, mostly we won't have the DB changes unless we advise on it. But between releases, yes, we will have database changes.
I have a question. So if you are not doing an upgrade, if you're just installing 10.9 for the first time, and you are pointing your application to a database, which doesn't, I mean, with the you know VM or on-prem installation, you put in the clear text password for the database, and it gets encrypted.
No. You need to for containerized offering. You need
Right.
to encrypt your password. So
How? What is the method of encryption?
It's base 64. I don't remember. I need to double check. The base 64.
But Meir, I think what you can do, if I remember correctly, you can put your password in clear text, and then in the logs file it will appear as encrypted. Then you can copy it over into your Helm chart and use it encrypted from now on.
Yes.
So you have
for
this
on-prem,
option.
for on-prem, you are putting it. For the on-prem, you are putting it clear text, and then it will hash it for you, and you'll be able to do a base 64 of it.
So you can basically grab that hash the encrypted password from the on-prem and apply it to your Helm chart.
Yep.
Yeah.
You need
Okay.
to do you need to base 64.
Base 64. Okay, thank you.
Any more questions?
I don't see any more in the panel. Also.
Okay, so thank you for your time. Thank you for listening for us. I hope it was meaningful for you and you learned. And I hope that soon, very soon, we will meet again in 10.9.1, which is going to be yet another release with many improvements and benefits. Of course, that every release includes also security enhancements. You know, this drill that we always need to scan and fix vulnerabilities. So remember that as well. Defect fixings, performance improvement, this is come without saying, and new features that we're happy to introduce. So thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone.
Yep. Thanks,
And bye.
also. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.